Hi, welcome to Talking with Guy, and I have with me Jamie Rhynd, and she's running for the Board of Health. Hi, how are you
Hi,
doing?
good morning.
Good morning. You were born in Whitman.
hmm
How's your upcoming? What's like?
I grew up in Whitman. I attended my first school was right across the street here, the Holt building.
Mm.
That was an elementary school when I was in kindergarten, and I graduated from Whitman Hanson. So I grew up here my entire childhood, and I moved away after high school. I moved to Wyoming.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it was super fun. But I've been working my way closer ever since. So I lived in Wyoming for a little bit. I lived in New Hampshire. I lived on the North Shore of Massachusetts. And then about 14 years ago, I moved back to Whitman to raise my family here. I had children at that point and wanted them to kind of enjoy like the same small town upbringing that I loved as a kid. I was a big fan. I wanted to raise my kids here, and now they are both in college, and I'm finding that I have more time to give back to my community, which is why I'm running for the Board of Health.
Um, what pulled you to run? What pulled you from running for the Board of Health?
Yeah, so I am a nurse practitioner. I'm a pediatric nurse practitioner, so I work in primary care. I take care of people's children. And I've been interested in public health since, I guess, my days as a college student. So I remember learning in my undergrad nursing coursework about the influenza pandemic of 1918, and that really piqued my interest, I guess, in the whole sphere of public health. And it's kind of been a bucket list item of mine to serve on my local Board of Health. I feel like my skill set as a nurse practitioner, a lot of what I do is educating patients and families regarding disease prevention and health promotion and healthy lifestyle. And when the pandemic hit, I found myself having so many more conversations with not just my patients and their families, but people in my community, friends, family members, and found that I felt like I was really good at explaining things, breaking things down, and kind of easing people's minds and communicating not just what we should be doing, but why.
So, what like healthcare been an interest since high school, or was it like something that you like once you got to college, like after a few
Yeah.
majors, you got
Yeah,
to?
no, actually my first major was
Whoa.
early childhood education. And I switched to nursing. I actually didn't finish my degree the first go around. Went back to school when my second son was born. So I found that as an adult learner, it was just more. Everything was more interesting, and I was a better student, I think, the second time around. So I went through the different steps of nursing education. I got an associate's degree first, and then I got a bachelor's degree, and then I got a master's degree, and I became a nurse practitioner.
Nice. Um, so so after did you take a gap year first, or it was like you took your associate degree and then you kind of stopped college and then?
No, I went straight through. So I started college as an early childhood education major, and then took time off. Took a couple years off, had a couple of children, got married, and then went back to school when my youngest was a baby. And then I got my associate's degree, started working as an RN in Boston, and worked full time, raised a family, got my bachelor's degree, and then went straight through for I knew I wanted to be a nurse practitioner, and I knew I wanted to get that advanced degree. So yeah, I raised a family, worked full-time as an RN, both in Boston and at South Shore Hospital, while like kind of chipping away at those classes and working on my degree.
Is there something in the town of Whitman and the Board of Health that is like you feel like you can better voice or better communicate those experiences with the people of Whitman?
Yeah, what I would like to see from the Board of Health is just I guess an increased online presence. Mm-hmm. I see that some of the other towns in the area have like a dedicated like Facebook page or social media presence, because I think the work that they're doing is really important and interesting, and I would like it to be more accessible to the public. So I would like to help out with that for sure. And I think that just having people with healthcare experience or education background is always useful.
You mentioned about an increase on online presence with does the Board of Health have a Facebook page?
They don't have a Facebook page. They do have, if you go onto the Town of Whitman page, they do have, you can find information about the meetings, about the COVID pandemic response. They do have information, but you kind of have to look for it.
So you want the information to be more surface level, like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
Is there, like, throughout your high school years where you kind of thought that this was the pathway that you wanted to go, as in like extracurriculars, or like if I were to ask you what you want to be when you...
Yeah, when I was 16, 17, I would have had absolutely no idea. Yeah. So, yeah, I talk to, I have a lot of patients, adolescent patients, and I try to not ask them, I do ask them that question, do you know what you want to do next year? And very often they're like, that they get that look on their face, like, to take a step back and say, you're not supposed to have your life figured out at 16, at 17, at 18 even. It took me a little longer to figure out what I wanted to do.
So you said that you wanted to grow, have your kids experience the small town experience. What is the biggest thing that pulled you back to Whitman?
My family. Yeah, I grew up with a large extended family here in Whitman. I had 32 first cousins on my mom's side. Whoa. And I have 2 children. I'm like, that's it. That was enough for me. But I wanted them to feel like they were part of a big family. I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers. My 2 sisters have 4 kids each. They're all in Whitman. So I wanted them to grow up with their first cousins like I grew up with my first cousins.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was my family.
Yeah. It's kind of nice seeing like when Thanksgiving comes around, it's like the house is packed.
It is packed. Yes. Yes. Like growing up, we can't even fit my extended family for Thanksgiving anymore. But yeah, that's great.
So besides family, it's like there's a place in Whitman that's like kind of pulls you, like that's just kind of like for me, I really enjoy I forgot the name of the place. There's 2 ponds and there's a walking trail.
Hobart's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I really like that place, like when I need to just ease. But yeah, what is like a place in Whitman that's like you enjoy?
I love the park. Yeah, the park is gorgeous. We're
is.
very lucky. I believe it was Olmsted designed.
I believe so. I had I believe I had a interview with Marie Lyler, just the town historian.
Oh,
Yeah, she
yes, yes.
told me who designed the park, but right now I can't come up
Yeah,
with the
I
name.
believe it was Olmsted.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful park. I like the hills and the little pond and the fountain.
Yeah, it's a beautiful town.
Yes, and also the dogs. People
Oh,
are
yeah.
always walking their
Yeah.
dogs around there, and I'm a big dog lover, so
Yeah,
I
like
just
personally, I can't have one in the house, but like if you kind of like get the experience without owning one.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, I have two.
Oh man, I'm jealous.
They're great.
Um, is the what is like one of the besides getting a more of a presence in putting the Board of Health message to the public? What is something that you really want to improve within the Board of Health?
I would
Board.
just, the last 2 years I think have been really traumatic for everyone. I feel like we've all had this collective trauma, and I would like to kind of focus on both healing from that. A lot of people lost loved ones to COVID, and we're definitely in the midst of a pediatric mental health care crisis. So I'd like to focus on helping people access the services that they need to kind of move forward and heal from this, and also to take what we learned, what worked and what didn't work, and apply that to future emergency planning, because I don't want to go back there. You know, I feel like we're kind of settling into this new phase of the pandemic. I'd like to be, a little bit more normal.
Yeah.
Kind of part of that moving forward, but also, keeping. Unfortunately, this won't be the last time we're dealing with a pandemic or a disease outbreak.
Yeah.
And I'd like to, be a part of taking what we learned, what worked, and learning.
Yeah, because like it was kind of a shock being home for so long. At the beginning, it was great.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, like first 3 months, happiest 3 months in everybody's life.
Yeah.
About 4 months is like, I kind of want to get out.
Yes, no more Zooms. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They got old.
Yeah, they did. People did try to make it entertaining though, but it was there's so much you can do with the 4 walls of your house.
Right, yeah. I missed people.
Yeah, I feel like human beings need the interaction that is besides their family members.
Yes, yes, yeah. I still had work. I was still getting up and going to work every day, and but it was different.
Yeah, it was. But traffic was great.
You know what? We drove straight into Boston
Yeah.
to Pizzeria Regina. I bought like a pizza delivery bag so we could keep the pizza warm and just shoot in there, pick up our pizza, drive it back home.
Yeah,
20 minutes, 30 minutes. Yeah.
Imagine doing that now.
No. Nope.
Like imagine having an interview without a face mask.
I know. It's nice.
Yeah. If there were to be another outcome of this, do you think we'd be better prepared with because we know the drill, or it was like it would be the same resistance that we had before?
I hope so. I think I think that's the goal, to be better prepared, and to also realize what was harmful, as far as school goes, for instance. We know, looking at the data, that having schools closed was very detrimental to our kids, both their education and their mental health. So we could kind of have different priorities, like what do we need to do in order to keep schools open so we don't have to go down that route again. So I do think there are people out there working hard, studying the data and figuring out how we could avoid those things in the future.
Do you have some like a page of your own that you kind of like bring out your messages, as in like your voice and data and like your running?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went with Facebook. I figure most voters have a Facebook account.
Yeah.
So I have Jamie Rhynd, PNP, which stands for Pediatric Nurse Practitioner for Whitman Board of Health, is my page.
I feel like I just started going back on Facebook. I thought it was like something of like nobody uses it.
For old people.
But I'm coming to find out like majority of this town is on Facebook.
Yes.
So it's like with like Whitman Pride and there's all those.
Our
like,
Whitman Connection is another group. Yeah.
Which is, I feel like the town is connected, but in some ways it's not. Like when it comes to like a social presence and engagement with the community, like some people don't even like. I talked to like my cousin. I was like, "Do you know there's an election happening?" They're like, "There is." I was like, "Yeah, that's why people are having their signs
The
out."
signs, right?
But yeah, like unless you know, it's like, yeah, I kind of like agree with you. Like, women needs to like have a better mode of like communications with its citizens.
I feel like there is a lot of people who are the events, like they're the Cultural Council, for instance, is having Whitman Day.
Yeah, it is.
Over the summer in June. So I feel like that will help increase visibility of different events and groups.
Yeah. Be like, it'd be fun with having a scavenger park with like QR codes.
Yes.
Is there like a message that you kind of want to put out for anybody who's watching the show right now, as in the core like of your elections, like something that you would like people to know on the pretense of I'm having a hard time forming my thought.
Message.
Yeah, what is the message that like if I were to go on your page, it's like something that you like would be like the pin message?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm positive. I'm reasonable. You know, I do think that there's a lot of like negative discourse in town politics in general.
Yeah.
And I, as someone with a healthcare background and education, I just really want to do the job. I want to do the work. I don't see this, a lot of times I guess people will look at open positions on town boards and, oh, Board of Health, I think I'll run for that and use that as a stepping stone for something else. No, that's not me. Like, this is my jam. This is my lane. I love this stuff, and I really want to do the work. I'm very excited. I've been going to meetings, sitting in the audience, and I would like to just I'd like to have a seat at the table, because I think that I can lend my experience and my voice and really help the town move forward into this next phase of our pandemic response, and really focus too on things that COVID took up a lot of oxygen in the room. That's probably not the best metaphor, literally and figuratively. Yeah. And there's some things that have been neglected that maybe need some attention, because rightfully so, it took a lot of the energy and time and attention of the board, and I'd like to focus on some, help them focus on some not new, but neglected things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that's great outlook on, because like COVID has like for better words, has been taking the oxygen. It's like we're still in a pandemic.
We are definitely still in a pandemic. We're moderate risk right now for transmission in Plymouth County. We're still.
Like I completely forgot about it the other day. If someone had pointed out to me, I was like, "Oh yeah, we are. COVID's still a thing.
It's still around. Yeah, we're definitely seeing an uptick in cases right now. But we're in a much better place than we were
definitely.
2 years ago. We have some vaccines, obviously, and also some readily available antivirals, and also some level of community immunity.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like way less death, which is amazing.
Amazing, right.
Yeah.
So yes, even though we're still seeing infections, we're seeing
people are bouncing back.
Yeah, fewer cases of severe illness and fewer deaths. So
yeah, as a wrap-up message, what is something that you would like to say, where people can find you to keep up with your election, and pretty much.
Yeah, I would just like to encourage everyone to vote, because it's historically there's just such low turnout for these town elections, so like percentage-wise, and it's really important. And I think that I hope that young people will come out and vote, and I hope that whoever you vote for, I just would like people to see people participating in their local government. And, things like, I think that people maybe are realizing that things like your local board of health is actually important, and it does have the ability to influence your day-to-day life. And I hope that you'll choose me to sit on that board for you.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Because like Whitman is a community town, especially with the voting, so every vote really does count.
It really does.
It's not like there's another section of like that'll take majority of the vote and select that to like this is who wants to vote. But if you watch the town meeting, it's like people vote and majority counts. So it counts. So your vote really does have
100% matters. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, it has been great.
Thank you.
And this has been Talking with Guy. Everybody, vote on May 21st.
Thank you.
All right.